The jungle was dying. Beneath the canopy of twisted stalks and shriveled mushroom domes, the forest floor pulsed with a low, mechanical hum, a sound not born of nature but of intrusion. Kauthari moved swiftly, but her body trembled with every step. A streak of acidic blood dripped from her hind leg, hissing as it met the fungal undergrowth. In her forelimbs she clutched her hatchling, limp and twitching, the child's carapace glinting with faint silver lines that crawled like vines beneath the skin. The infection had begun. Behind them, the trees cracked unnaturally, not from wind or beast, but from something cold and precise, Kryluk drones. Kauthari staggered to the ruins of an ancient comm beacon, overgrown with moss-like tendrils. She set her hatchling down gently, brushing one clawed hand across the surface. It flickered to life, barely. With what strength remained, she keyed in an old code, a relic of her hive's once proud defense protocols. The beacon spat out a signal, a distorted cry across the stars. It lasted 9 seconds before the device sparked and died, releasing a final hiss of smoke into the stale air. From above, a Kryluk scout twisted through the canopy on silent wings. Light years away, Captain Elara Miles stood on the command deck of the UTF Solace's wing, her gaze fixed on the holographic readout. The signal was faint, barely distinguishable from the background radiation, but it pulsed in irregular intervals, organic, desperate. A life form? She asked. Unknown, Zhao answered from his terminal. Could be biological. Could be old automated tech reacting to the decay field. Definitely not Kryluk, wrong frequency. Elara's eyes narrowed. They don't send distress signals. They erase them. Arjun, the ship's medic, glanced up from the diagnostic screen. Still no reply to our ping? Nothing, Zhao said. Whatever sent it might not be alive anymore. A long silence followed. The bridge was quiet, sterile, too clean for a place orbiting a dying world. Elara clenched her jaw. The official UTF orders were clear: observe and avoid direct contact on infected worlds unless recovery was confirmed. Emari was flagged red, a Kryluk blight zone. She toggled her comm. Prep the shuttle. We're going down. Zhao spun in his chair. Captain, command won't authorize a ground op. We're not asking, Elara said, turning for the lift. We've got a signal. It came from someone. And I'm not leaving them to die in the dirt because of red tape. Emaria's surface was worse than the satellite feeds had shown. The jungle was not quiet, it breathed, the sound of rot and static whispering through the air. Giant fungal stalks drooped overhead like diseased lungs, oozing bioluminescent spores in sickly yellow patterns. Underfoot, the ground cracked, not from dryness but decay. Their boots left trails in gray sludge that once may have been soil. Elara led the way with Luma, the four-legged scout dog hybrid, sniffing ahead with tail low and ears flicking. Arjun followed with his medpack slung tight, Zhao at the rear, his drone buzzing above to scan the terrain. Multiple carbon traces, Zhao said through his helmet. 2 moving objects, humanoid size. 20 meters ahead. Heat signatures are faint, one's erratic. Elara raised a fist. The team halted. She crouched behind a collapsed tree trunk, eyeing the clearing beyond. Through the infrared filter, she saw it, a figure hunched over another, cloaked in a thick carapace that shimmered like obsidian under the starlight. It was clearly not human. The signal sender, she whispered. Has to be. Arjun moved up beside her, already prepping his scanner. The smaller one, it's seizing. Looks infected. From what? Zhao answered grimly. Guess. Elara tapped her mic. Team, switch to biohazard protocol. Non-aggressive approach. We're making contact. Kauthari saw them. 3 bipeds, wrapped in armored cloth, their faces hidden, their shapes alien. She hissed instinctively, curling around her hatchling, spines raised. Her vision swam, her wound was deep, and the infection in her child had begun to warp the air around them. One of the bipeds dropped to a crouch. It had a strange companion with it, 4-legged, low to the ground. The smaller creature did not growl or advance. It tilted its head, emitted a soft whine, and stepped forward carefully. Kauthari tensed, until the creature lowered its snout and offered her a water capsule. A moment passed. Another. Slowly, she reached forward and took it. The liquid was foreign, sharp in taste, but clean. The taller biped stepped forward and unsealed its helmet. It was female, its features soft but eyes steady. It held up both hands and spoke gently in a language Kauthari didn't understand, but the tone soothed, not threatened. "She's scared," Arjun said. "Protective. And she's bleeding out." Zhao scanned the child. Nanoblade traces confirmed. "It's Krylok-tech, mutating inside the kid's nervous system." Elara exhaled through her teeth. "Can we stop it?" "Not with field gear," Arjun said. "We need medbay extraction. Soon." Elara activated her comm. "Solace's wing, this is Captain Miles. We've located 2 survivors, both non-human. 1 infected. Requesting immediate evac from medical containment." Static. Then a response. "Negative, Captain. Orders are clear. No retrieval from contaminated ground. Return immediately." Elara stared at the speaker. Then, she shut it off. "We're not leaving them." Zhao stiffened. "You want to defy a Class Red bio-quarantine? That's a career-ender. Or worse." Elara met his gaze. "You see a vector. I see a mother trying to save her child. I'm not abandoning them because Command's afraid of a headline." Luma stepped beside her, tail wagging once. "Doc?" she asked. Arjun looked at the child again, then nodded. "If we go together." Elara knelt beside Kauthari, pressing her palm to the dirt. She drew 2 circles, one for herself, one for Kauthari. Then she drew a line connecting them. Kauthari studied the image. Then she extended a claw, and with one motion, connected her circle to Elara's. Kauthari did not sleep. Her claws rested over her hatchling's side, feeling every tremble that passed through his fragile body. The child's skin had begun to glow faintly, not from health, but from infection. Threads of Krylok nanites shimmered beneath the surface like a cold light trying to escape. She watched the humans with one eye open, unmoving, coiled in a posture of instinctive readiness. They had not harmed her. Not yet. Elara sat a few feet away, helmet resting on the ground beside her. Her eyes were tired but alert. The others were doing system checks, quietly loading gear, whispering updates across low-band radios. She looked at the alien mother and spoke softly. "You're exhausted, but you won't let yourself rest." Kauthari didn't respond. She couldn't understand the words, but the tone, gentle, almost apologetic, was clear enough. "I've seen that look before," Elara continued. "It's the same one my sister wore when her son caught the Terran lung rot. She sat at his bedside for 6 days. Didn't blink. I didn't get it back then. I do now." The jungle outside crackled. Arjun crouched beside the child, running a handheld bioscanner over the small body. "Spore levels are off the chart," he said. "His body's trying to fight, but the nanites are overriding his immune response. Like they're learning. Morphing." Zhao tapped through skin overlays, eyes narrowing. "If we bring that thing aboard, it could compromise our entire ship." "It's not a thing," Elara said firmly. Zhao hesitated. "That child is a living carrier. If even one spore survives containment, we could lose everyone on board." "I said we're not leaving them," she repeated, standing. "I'm not arguing with your heart, Captain," Zhao said. "I'm arguing with physics." Outside the shelter, the jungle let out a low groan. The trees swayed without wind. In the distance, something tall moved with unnatural grace, thin limbs, jointed wrong, scanning lights sweeping side to side. A Krylok sentinel drone. Luma growled low. Everyone froze. "Shut everything down," Elara whispered. "No heat signatures." They powered off lights, dampeners, and scanners. Arjun pulled a thermal cloak over the pod housing the hatchling. Elara crouched near the edge of the hollow, watching the drone with clenched fists. The drone paused, just meters from their position. It turned slowly, scanning the terrain. Then, with a click, it skittered away. No one breathed until the last trace of it vanished. Zhao exhaled. They're triangulating. They'll be back. When quiet returned, Elara stepped toward Kathari again and knelt. She reached into her pocket, pulled out a flat device, and activated its simple visual interface, a blank screen. Then she drew a circle, human. Another serene. Between them, a line, with a shield shape. Below it, a danger symbol, and a sketch of the child. Kathari tilted her head. Slowly, she extended one claw and tapped the shield, then her child. Her body posture softened. Yeah, Elara said. We want to protect him. That's why we're still here. Kathari reached forward and pressed 2 fingers to Elara's forehead. The contact was electric. Flashes of thought flooded Elara's mind, not words, but sensations and images. 1,000 threads at once, the great hive spiraling into the mist, the laughter of younglings, the hum of unity. Then fire. Screams. Darkness falling like water. The scream of machines that didn't sleep. And finally, the child's birth. Hope. Survival. The raw terror of losing it all again. Elara stumbled back, blinking tears. I saw everything, she whispered. She showed me. She what? Arjun asked. It's some kind of neuroempathic memory transfer. Not language. Just feeling. It's how they survive as a collective. Kathari was watching her now, not as an enemy, but as something closer to equal. Solace's wing, this is Captain Miles. Request immediate evac with quarantine override. We have a critical first contact scenario and 2 injured non-human survivors. Time sensitive. Static. Then a voice. Captain, you are operating outside directive parameters. No retrieval authorized. Infected lifeforms must be left on site. Fall back immediately. Elara cut the comm. Zhao stared at her. That was a direct order. I heard, she said, jaw tight. So did I. And I'm ignoring it. You're risking court-martial. Maybe, Elara said, looking at Kathari. But not their lives. Zhao shook his head. This isn't what we trained for. No, she agreed. It's what we should have. They moved out under cover of darkness. Zhao repurposed one of the scouting drones into a hovering stretcher. Kathari was weak, her movements strained, but she refused to be carried, until Elara gave her a firm nod. Only then did she allow herself to lean on the support frame. The child was sealed in a containment pod, kept stable by Arjun's constant monitoring. His vitals are dropping, he said. We've got an hour at best. Luma scouted ahead, tail stiff, ears perked. Elara followed, weapon ready but slung down. They were a strange group, soldiers, an alien, a dog thing, and a dying child, moving through a broken world. Then came the signal spike. Zhao's drone beeped urgently. They've located us. Multiple signals, coming from above and below. Elara pointed to a crumbling cave ahead. There. Into the ridge. We lose the high ground but break line of sight. Inside, the walls pulsed faintly with leftover bioenergy, the remnants of fungal nerve clusters that once powered the forest's natural network. It smelled of ash and antiseptic. Elara sealed the entrance with a thermal screen. They'll find us, Zhao said. Eventually, she replied. So we make this count. She turned to Kathari. Your child needs more than what we can give here. But we'll hold them off. I swear it. Kathari didn't understand the words. But she reached out, claws trembling, and placed her palm over Elara's chest. Elara pressed her hand over the alien's in return. No translator needed. The ridge trembled. Elara stood near the mouth of the cave, rifle in hand, eyes fixed on the shifting tree-line. She could feel it, like a storm gathering pressure. Krylock drones didn't rush. They encircled, observed, calculated. Her HUD flickered. The comms went silent again. Behind her, Arjun leaned over the containment pod. Heartbeats erratic, he muttered. The infection is accelerating. The pod's filters are holding, but we're near failure. How long? She asked. He hesitated. Minutes. Katheri crouched beside her child, head low, antennae twitching. Her breathing had grown shallow, one of her legs had given out entirely. Yet she still refused aid. She watched Elara, as if waiting to see what the human would do next. Elara turned to Zhao. You got anything left that flies? He pulled a cracked drone case from his pack. If I get the survey module, maybe. It won't carry much. It only needs to carry one, she said. Get Katheri out. Zhao's head snapped up. What about the kid? Arjun and I will take the pod manually. We'll go through the side ravine, draw the Krylocks toward us. The drone runs quiet, and they're focused on heat signatures. If we keep it low profile, she might make it through. Zhao frowned. And what about you? We're not the objective. They worked fast. Zhao stripped the drone bare and reinforced its frame with a lift harness. Katheri didn't resist this time. She reached down and pressed her forehead gently to her child's containment pod. A soft, melodic vibration hummed from her chest, low and mournful. Then, without a word, she climbed into the makeshift cradle, claws gripping tight. Zhao activated the drone's lift. It rose smoothly, hovering a few meters off the ground. Stay low, no lights, Elara ordered. We'll meet on the other side if we survive. Zhao gave her a long look, nodded once, and vanished into the dark. The ravine path was narrow, slick with decay. Elara took point, rifle at the ready. Arjun followed close behind, struggling under the weight of the pod. Sweat poured down his face. Luma, ever vigilant, padded silently beside them. You sure this is going to work? Arjun asked through gritted teeth. No, Elara said. But it's all we have. The jungle above shifted. A high-pitched screech rang out, like tearing metal. The first drone dropped in behind them, blades extended, scanning beams strobing the terrain. Go! Elara shouted. Arjun broke into a run. Elara turned and fired. The drone twisted, dodging her shot. It accelerated. She fired again, a direct hit to the sensor core. It staggered midair. Sparks exploded, and it crashed against the rocks, legs twitching violently. More followed. They reached a clearing just as the canopy exploded in a shower of shredded spores. A full-size Krylok war drone descended, 8 limbs, plated armor, a spine of saw-toothed tentacles. It landed hard, blocking the only exit. Elara shoved Arjun behind a boulder. Keep that pod sealed, no matter what. She stepped forward, rifle raised, but she already knew it wouldn't be enough. The war drone tilted its head. It scanned her slowly, deliberately. It didn't see a threat, it saw a delay. So she gave it one. Elara ripped the emergency EMP device from her pack and sprinted straight at the drone. Captain? Arjun screamed. She didn't stop. The drone's blades extended. It raised one, swinging it downward in a blur of motion. Elara slid beneath the strike and slammed the EMP into its undercarriage. A brilliant pulse of white light erupted. The drone seized mid-movement. Its limbs locked, sparks bursting from every joint. The impact knocked Elara sideways, hard. She hit the ground, vision dimming. Blood seeped into the soil beneath her. The world tilted. Then, nothing. The sound of engines woke her. A muffled voice called her name. Then another. Hands pulled her upright. A medpack hissed against her neck, stimulants rushing into her bloodstream. Arjun's face swam into view. You're alive! She tried to speak but couldn't. He smiled faintly. We got her out. The drone made it. She's safe. And the kid, he's stable. Barely. But stable. Her head lolled to the side. A dropship had landed in the clearing. UTF medtechs swarmed the site. One of them lifted the containment pod into a sterilized chamber. Another approached with a stretcher. And standing beside the ship, eyes wide and shimmering with alien light, was Katheri. She stepped forward slowly. Elara's gaze met hers. Kauthari knelt beside her and gently placed a clawed hand against Alara's chest. A familiar warmth spread through Alara's skin, different from before. Not grief. Not fear. Gratitude. Later, aboard the Solace's wing, Alara lay on a medbed surrounded by monitors. A scar traced her ribs where the drone's shrapnel had grazed her. She was exhausted but alive. Zhao entered the room, holding a datapad. Command received the footage. The whole thing. Memory recordings. Voice logs. You saved them, and made history. Any fallout? Plenty. But they're calling it a diplomatic turning point. High Command wants to speak with you personally. Alara grunted. Let them wait. He nodded. One more thing. He stepped aside. Kauthari entered, her child clutched to her side. The hatchling no longer glowed with infection. His tiny limbs twitched with new life. He looked up at Alara, blinking slowly. Kauthari stepped forward and offered something, one of her hive's memory stones, etched in glowing script. A symbol of alliance. A bond not of politics, but of choice. Alara took it. Thank you, she whispered. Kauthari didn't need a translator to understand. Hours later, Alara stood at the viewport, watching Imari shrink in the distance. Its surface still bore the scars of invasion, but life remained. Somewhere in that ruin, the forest would begin again. Arjun stepped up beside her. You think they'll remember this? He asked. Kauthari will, Alara said. Her child will. She tapped the memory stone in her palm. And that's enough.